welcome back to Galactic Rush and the Rocks Box. That's right, this is going up on both channels. This week we're just doing a Cartoon Network tier list, and with me I have Homecoming. Homecoming, say hi.
Hey, good to see all of y'all.
And so the tiers that we have are S, A, B, C, D, F, don't remember, and haven't seen. So, with that quickly out of the way, let's get into it. Starting off, we have a show I'm not familiar with called, it's like a really old Cartoon Network show, probably before our time, Homecoming. I think it's called Moxie or something like that.
Oh, Moxie? Moxie is the first cartoon. Moxie used to introduce Hanna-Barbera cartoons. He's like this orange dog, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he was original segments, but he was like in between commercials, and like the idea is that Moxie would show up and do that. So no, neither of us have seen Moxie. Moxie is just a little bit before our time.
So with that, he goes in, haven't seen. Up next, Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Either A or S. So I watched this when I was a little kid, and I thought it was kind of funny. Obviously, as a kid, I thought Brack was the funniest character in the world. As an adult, Zorak is the best character on this.
Oh, absolutely. For me, I would have to throw it in either B or A. I don't think it's S tier. So
I could compromise with A. I think it's just funny. Obviously this is a show that was made for older audiences. Not like older audiences and sex jokes and profanity, but more like the dry humor of it all. It's Kid Letterman.
Yeah. Which is weird because I've never known it to be on Cartoon Network, only Adult Swim.
I guess we're getting some Adult Swim in here, but yeah, I adore Space Ghost Coast to Coast. One of my favorites is, have you seen the clip where he interviews Lassie?
Dude, it's been years since I've watched this show.
Yeah, he interviews a dog, and it's great because it's played completely straight.
Oh my god. So, A tier. Up next, What a Cartoon. Which, if I remember correctly, was a compilation of, like, shorts that would eventually get turned into shows? Or am I thinking of something else?
So, once again, dude, you gotta give yourself more credit. Yes, you are correct. So, What a Cartoon is the one that had, like, the electric guitar thing. Our generation, you and I both being 94 kids, our generation is probably more akin with the later shorts, like Cartoon Fridays and then Wedgies.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, What a Cartoon, that's where stuff like Dexter and Powerpuff Girls are, we call them by their original name.
The Whoop-Ass Girls?
That was amazing. Also, Blossom looked like she was gonna go on a murder spree, and it was incredible. I still have an image of Blossom angry saved for special occasions, but you can pick. I would say, just because you and I how are you feeling about this one?
I'll be honest, I'm tempted to throw it in Don't Remember, because I don't remember that much about What a Cartoon. I think I was just a little bit too young for that.
I think, yeah, same. Because a lot of the 90s stuff, you and I, it was either still going in the 2000s, like it would get animation boosts when you and I are old enough to remember, or we would get reruns, or something like Boomerang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, up next, speaking of Dexter's Lab, is Dexter's Lab. I want to throw this in S tier.
I do too. I'm tempted to throw. So we're counting the shows as a whole, right?
Right.
And part of me, it's either S or A, because the first half of the show is incredible, but once it got the animation bump after the TV movie, this show, ooh, the later episodes were not.
It did drop in quality a bit. I'll admit that much.
But just for the first couple seasons and Ego Trip, I still think Dexter's is still great. One of my personal favorite episodes is still the one where they get locked in the equivalent of a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, same. Or that episode where Dexter had to break out of his own school.
Oh, you mean Kid Die Hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kid Die Hard is great. Yeah, that one's good. I think a lot of people's memories revolve around the early seasons too. People remember like the robot, but also, yeah, you could put it in S because Dexter also gave us like it had these little in betweens. I loved Dial M for Monkey.
Same.
And then what the Justice?
The Justice Friends. Yeah, the Justice Friends.
Good old Infraggable Crunk.
Up next, we have Johnny Bravo, which I kind of want to throw in either B or A.
I would say B or A as well because let's talk this out. Johnny Bravo, much like Dexter, had a drop in quality. That being said, the earlier stuff is amazing, like the Scooby-Doo crossover.
Oh yeah.
Or the Donny Osmond episode, the Christmas special.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Christmas special, surprisingly enough, is my favorite episode.
Mr. West, is it true that you dress up and fight crime? How old are you? I'm 6. Yeah, I sure do, Billy. I sure do.
So, which one are we going with, B or A?
I'd say B, just because even though Johnny Bravo is iconic and still really good, I feel like it went on a little too long, and the second half really... If Dexter's second half was bad, the second half of Johnny Bravo was really rough.
Oh, yeah. Up next, Cow and Chicken.
I know where Skull Kid put this if he was here.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I kind of want to throw it in either B or C. I don't think it's A.
I want to say C because I think, well, first of all, it's C for chicken. My reasoning with Cow and Chicken is that it's, for lack of a better terms, and I feel like people in the comments, if they comment on this, are gonna yell at me. Cow and Chicken is a poor man's Ren and Stimpy.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I know, and I hate that I'm not wrong, but what are your memories of Cow and Chicken? Is this something you would go back and turn on now?
I'll be honest with you, probably not. Not that there's anything wrong with the show, it's just... I don't know, there's better shows out there that will, like, crave my... it'll satisfy my nostalgia craving more than Cow and Chicken.
So C?
Yeah,
C. Because it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Because it also has I Am Weasel, and the I Am Weasel IR Baboon stuff is still funny.
So much so that it got its own spinoff. Speaking of which, I Am Weasel.
I'd say C or B. Like, just because it's super short-lived.
Yeah.
This is, I think, only like 1 or 2 seasons long, because this was a segment on Cow and Chicken. Then, if I'm not wrong, it shared a show with Cow and Chicken?
It did. It eventually got its own spinoff just called I Am Weasel.
Again, this is one joke. The baboon is stupid, the weasel is smart. It's one note.
Up next, the Whoop-Ass Girls.
Yes,
which I am throwing. I'm not even gonna ask. I'm throwing it in S tier.
Yes. Not only because they have an accurate portrayal of how we all wake up in the morning, the 3 ways to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
With Buttercup looking like if you talk to me before noon, I'm gonna punch you in the face. But yes, classic. Villains are memorable. The show was great. Ironically enough, the weakest thing for Powerpuff Girls for me is the movie.
Yeah, the movie was, yeah.
It's just so mean-spirited.
It really is.
Like, the townspeople hate. Don't the girls get, like, jumped by the Gang Green Gang in the middle of the movie?
I believe they do, yeah.
Yeah, like, Professor Utonium gets arrested, and then the three of them get the living daylights beat out of them in the rain. And I'm like, what is this movie? This isn't like the cartoon. I'm like, this is all sad, and they try to make you feel sympathetic for Mojo Jojo.
Yeah. Up next, Ed and Eddie, which I feel is another S-tier show, but I'm willing to bargain with A.
Okay, let's talk this out. The reason why I would put an A is because I feel like, dang it. Okay, like anyone watching this, there's gonna be spoilers. Part of me wanted to put an A for how mean-spirited it is, but the series ends on such a solid, happy note.
Yeah.
Like, the movie was great. The big picture show was really good. Sound font alone would get an S in my book.
I mean, you're not wrong, especially that one video we saw at one point, the Devil May Cry.
Life is pretty good.
Yeah.
My favorite was always the like the sumo sound. Yes, that was my, or the but you know what? No, I would do S. It's still funny. There's still some good jokes in it. Okay, but before we move on, who is your least favorite Ed, Edd n Eddy character? Mine was always Jimmy.
Yeah, either Jimmy or Sarah.
Yeah, I was okay with Sarah because Sarah at least had, like, funny punchline moments. Like, Sarah was just mad all the time. Jimmy! The episode where he, like, set them up. Like, I forgot what happened. Like, I forgot what prank or crime thing happened. It was a whodunit episode, and he frames the Eds. That one made me so mad when I was younger.
Yeah. I hate Jimmy. But,
we love Rolf, also known as...
Oh, Rolf is the best character.
Crumb. You mean Crumb?
Yeah, he's the son of a shepherd. But
he is blue and he knows how to fight.
Yeah. Up next is Mike Lewinog, which I remember watching a lot as a kid, but I don't actually remember anything about it.
So it had the same animation style as Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh my god, it did.
But that being said, Mike Lewinog, I feel like I'm in the same boat as you. I remember watching it, but I only watched it because I wanted to watch what was before it and after it.
Yeah, like, I don't remember much about the show itself.
I would put it in D. Like,
I'll throw it in don't remember, because I don't remember.
Yeah, you know what, that's D for don't remember.
R for reload. Up next is Courage the Cowardly Dog. I want to throw this in S. Yeah,
Oh.
you know, I could compromise. I could compromise with A.
Okay, the show was great. this show legitimately scared me as a kid. The episode where he like opens the door and the claymation girl screams at him gave me legitimate nightmares as a kid.
Dude, that one episode that was about dreams was legitimately the scariest episode to me. Also, am I the only one that was kind of freaked out whenever they occasionally use the CGI Courage endings? You know, like how
those are meant to be unsettling.
yeah, like you know how like at the end of every episode, like Courage takes a bow on the stage. Occasionally, they would do ones where it's like it's his CGI, and for whatever weird reason, that used to creep me out.
Oh, my favorite thing, because I was thinking about Courage because we were talking about him earlier. One thing I love is that his just anxiety, whatever he would try to explain, so like, and then he would turn into the monster. And
Yeah.
Like, or of course his face like the things I do for
Thank you
love.
for love. Yeah.
But the episode, my goodness, my favorite is probably still the one about his parents because that one is actually legitimately beautiful.
Oh yeah. There's one episode I've never seen, but I want to, and it deals with physical. Well, it deals with like relationship abuse, sort of.
Oh, that's the one I'm talking about with the bunny and the like he saves the bunny. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about because he's like going to look for her, and he opens the door and there's this claymation girl, and she just screams. And that mortified me as a child. Like,
yeah,
it has nothing to do with the episode. It's never referenced again. I'm like, why would they do this? Like why?
Just to freak people out.
Just to freak people out. Yeah.
Up next, we have Sheep in the Big City, which I have never watched. I'll be honest with you.
This is gonna sound so dumb. I remember that sheep more from bumpers than I do from its actual show.
Same, actually.
So I just don't remember. Like, I remember that sheep being in a lot of bumpers.
Yeah.
Which we gotta talk about Cartoon Network bumpers someday, because those are Nickelodeon's, Disney, Cartoon Network's bumpers are still the peak.
Oh, absolutely. Up next, Time Squad, which is another show, much like Mike, Lou, and Og. I watched a lot as a kid. Don't remember anything about it.
Okay, this has the robot, the guy in the gray with the 5 o'clock shadow and the kid, right?
Yeah.
Dang, see, put it and don't remember. I remember watching it. I don't remember it at all. I feel like it was just a show.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's funny because I remember the shows that came on before and after it more than I remember the show itself.
It was like Mike, Lou, and Og. It was another in between. It was something like, sure, we'll talk about it later. I'll get to it when I get to it. I might rant, but I won't even say the show yet, but yeah, what's next, bud?
Samurai Jack, which is an automatic S tier. No debate.
For Scotsman, which is just Skull Kid in 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be able to have the roast game at the Scotsman. Just to stand there and just roast people.
If you, by some happenstance, have never seen this show before, go watch it. It's all on Max.
So good. It's even if, isn't it a Tartakovsky show?
Yes.
Yeah, you can tell he looks like Professor Utonium, but he's
that was a running joke in the fandom for the longest time, is that he looks like Professor Utonium.
The last thing I'll say is that, did you ever see the Mojo Jojo clip where he goes back in time and you find out Professor Utonium was a massive like punk as a little kid?
I haven't.
Yeah, he goes back in time and he's like, you see a kid who looks like Utonium. He's like, oh, the answer is the Pythagoras theorem, blah, blah, blah. And Mojo Jojo's like, that must be Utonium. And then you see a kid pull a chair back, the kid wipes out, and the teacher's like, Mr. Utonium, that's enough out of you. And Mojo Jojo's like, that's Utonium? You're saying he grows up to make the Powerpuff Girls?
Oh my god. Up next is Grim and Evil, which I will throw in B tier simply because the show that this show would eventually become is way better.
It's always kind of made me mad a little bit because, yes, Billy and Mandy's great, but I used to like Evil Con Carnes.
That's a separate thing on this list.
Oh no. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, B. It's fine.
Up next, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which, once again, automatic S. I don't care what anyone says.
I'd say A, because some of the gross out humor doesn't age very well. And there's
okay,
a lot of it.
You know what? I can compromise with A.
But
we
Dracula definitely.
Yeah.
Dracula, if I ever meet Phil Lamar someday, I'm getting a photo of Dracula signed. Just because the ugly and dummy quote.
You ugly, you a dummy. You ugly and a dummy.
Oh yeah, I'm breaking it down. Dracula, you're on fire. Oh yeah, I am. Oh, who's cooking me?
Up next, Evil Concardier.
B. It did not get to B or C. It's great, but it did not get a long run.
I will be a bit nicer to the show and throw it in B. Up next, Whatever Happened to Robot Jones. I'm tempted to throw this in either C or D, to be honest.
Okay, so I did watch this, but this was a nothing show.
Yeah, like, I remember this show a lot, but I just remember it being very... It's a show that I watched a lot, but it was also really non-existent to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, D?
Yeah.
Up next, Codename Kids Next Door.
S. Oh, no, A. Like Billy and Mandy, this was an early 2000s thing. Some of the gross out humor holds the show. The Pink Eye episode alone.
Those moments were so few in between to the point where I'm willing to just throw it in S anyway.
Oh, so you're saying that those are not as plentiful as, say, Billy and Mandy's were?
Yeah.
You know what? No, yeah, I'll agree. I will say that some of them are terrible, though. Like, really, there are some very skippable episodes, but,
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the movie, again, is still incredible. I think Operation Zero is still my favorite thing. Kids Next Door thing. But yes, it's still funny. We watched this, although, what we learned is that everyone has their own episodes. Number one's episode is learning how to, include others more and be more empathetic. Number two's episodes are about, like, I don't know.
Being a nerd and an ace pilot.
Number 3, it's these fun cutes episodes. Number 5's episodes are about her exploring the world and, like, meeting her heroes and trying to live up to them. Number 4's are about not being a gremlin. And
actually, number 5's stories are very Indiana Jones-esque.
Yes, but also she gets those really good episodes with her hero Maurice once he gets decommissioned, where she kind of like she's the one who struggles with her own I don't want to say like her own end of her time in the kids next door the most, because she's the oldest, so she knows she's gonna be decommissioned first.
Yeah, like the rest of them are like around, around the ages of 9 to maybe 11. She's like 12.
Yeah. So she has to keep grappling with the fact that she's going to deal with that, and Maurice was so cool. Maurice is one of my favorite characters. I like how you get episodes with, oh my gosh, some of those teenagers, like also, what was it, how number one had his own personal hero who then became a teenager, and you got like a season with like Chad.
Yeah,
the blonde one. I love this. Also, this show has a weird obsession with parodying Star Wars.
Yeah, when it's not being a parody of James Bond
or Indiana Jones, or having an episode where they have the whole stupid episode where the animation style keeps changing because someone stole the delightful children's pizza.
Oh my god. Up next, we have the Star Wars shorts that were done by the same guy who worked on Samurai Jack.
Oh,
I agree with that. I only recently watched these, but oh my god, they're amazing.
Oh, so good. The only reason why they're not higher is because they're just shorts. Like,
yeah,
they should have been more.
So apparently, they were at one point going to be a full series, but for whatever reason, it was scrapped 2 episodes in.
That is terrible, and I hate Cartoon Network for making that decision.
Yeah. Up next, we have the Skull Kid show, Megas XLR.
You gotta put it on the list. I've never watched this.
Megas XLR is a hard A for me.
It does have
really good.
Yeah, from advertising point of views, it kind of has that vibe of a show that was kind of like regular show where it's skewed just a little bit older, but not in like a language or dirty jokes kind of older, just like a cool idea for relatable, like older.
Yeah. Up next, we have Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
We're about to be controversial.
Okay.
This is a great show, but I'd put it in B. Blue knocks this show down so hard.
I want to put it in A because Frankie is the best character.
But then there's a bunch of episodes where you don't get Frankie because Blue's gotta learn lessons and Blue's gonna go around and Blue... Oh, he's such... I hate that Mac, you're a good kid. Mac is great. He's not perfect, but he's a kid, right? He's a kid with an older brother who bullies him, right?
Yeah.
Why is his imaginary friend a stupid blue blob that is so annoying? Like...
Oh.
I love every other character. Frankie, great. Madam Foster, great. Harriman, great. Wilt, great. Eduardo is my spirit animal. He just wants to eat potatoes. Is that too much to ask for? Also, do you remember the special, the Good Wilt Hunting?
Oh yeah, that's legit one of my favorite episodes. I need to go back and watch it at some point, but I need to find a place to watch Foster's on.
Yeah, because they took it off of Max for you own it!
No, I don't.
No, I'm saying that Cartoon
Network. Cartoon Network, yeah.
They own it! Why?
Warner Brothers is being a stupid right now, but that's neither here nor there.
Because I love Foster. You can either put in B and A, but I will say that if it definitely is at least out of S because of Blue.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Every other character is great. Well, also minus Bendy, but even the creators of that show hate that episode.
Yeah. Up next, Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. I want to put it in S because I'm biased, but I also acknowledge that it's maybe like a B or C show.
I'd say A or B. The only reason why it doesn't get any higher, this show did not run long.
It really didn't. You know what? I'm willing to compromise with A.
Yeah. Like, it's fine. It's just a slice of life show. It definitely is capitalizing on bands getting shows, but kudos for them instead of doing like a Jonas or like a Hannah Montana, doing an animated show about these two.
So you say Hannah Montana. Funny thing about that, Miley Cyrus didn't have a music career before Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana is what gave her a music career.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But up next, The Life and Times of Juniper Lee. I remember loving the show as a kid, but I don't actually remember anything about it, so I'll go with C.
I'd say C. Like I don't even remember watching it a lot as a kid. I just remember it feeling a lot like American Dragon Jake Long.
Yeah.
Which even then, Jake Long, I might need to go through both of them because I did not like Jake Long growing up.
Yeah. Up next, we have Camp Lazlo.
F.
Okay, come on, it's not that bad. I'm willing
F.
to give it I'm willing to be a bit nicer to it and give it a D.
Well, you have nostalgia for it, so...
Yeah, I do. You know what, actually, I'm willing to throw it in C, but that's only because there's a... No, actually, never mind, it's D. That other show, the more I think about it, I liked it more than Camp Lazlo, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, Camp Lazlo is like... Okay, I liked it as a kid, but the older I got, the more I'm like, oh, why did I even like this? Like... But yeah, what's up next?
Up next, Sunday Pants, which I don't remember.
Wasn't Sunday Pants wasn't that like an outlet for shorts? Like...
Yes. So this was a thing around like when I was in the... I remember this being a thing when I was like in the 4th or 5th grade, but I think that's also when I started watching Nickelodeon more and Cartoon Network a tad bit less. So I just don't remember this show.
Well, if it was airing on Sunday, Sundays for me were homework days, so I would probably miss it. So, yeah, I don't remember.
Up next is My Gym Partner's a Monkey, and this is the show that I think is slightly better than Camp Lazlo, which is why I want to kind of sort of throw this in C.
Okay. I was not a fan of this show back in the day. I didn't think it was funny. I thought the idea was funny. I hated the theme song.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of a lot of things in this show. I just think the humor wasn't that good. I think it was just kind of the same humor over and over again. I think the premise is really stupid. Oh, his name's Lion, so he goes to animal school. So,
well, his last name, but that, yeah.
You can put it where you wish, but I hate this show.
Yeah. Up next, the original Ben 10.
Never watched. This is you and I were getting older at the time. This is when I started watching Nickelodeon more, because Nickelodeon had the best Friday night lineup. We are talking Fairly Odd Parents, new SpongeBob, and we're talking about season 2 or 3. Danny Phantom, Ned's, and then Drake and Josh.
What are you talking about? They have Jimmy Neutron in there.
Oh, and Jimmy Neutron. Like, I'm talking about, this is peak Nickelodeon, though.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I am willing to throw OG Benton in B. Because I remember it being really good, but there is a show that tops it for me.
Oh, you're gonna talk about Omni. Yeah. So what's up?
Up next, Squirrel Boy.
F.
I agree with that, F.
So here's where my rant was coming in. You all thought it was with my gym partner's a monkey, but I was holding back. This was the show that I would watch in between. They would place this between shows that I liked, and I would have to sit there and hate myself for sitting there and watching Squirrel Boy. It was never funny. It was never good. The art style was terrible.
No, I think the art style was fine. Everything else surrounding it was bad.
The blue squirrel. What? I hate the show. I hate Squirrel Boy. F. Automatic F.
Yeah, fair enough. Up next, Class of 3000.
S.
I agree with that.
S
I
and
absolutely loved the show as a kid.
S and a moment of silence, because this was called way too soon.
Yeah. It did have a really good CartoonNetwork.com flash game though, where you can make your own music.
Yeah, it had a really good premise. It had a really fun idea. The teacher's design was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, Class of 3000 was great.
Up
and it was a
next
musical show.
Yeah. Up next is, I know you're gonna put this in S tier, Chowder.
Okay, so the reason why I would put this in S tier, I'm going to compromise. The humor still holds up. I rewatched Chowder recently, and I was still laughing at it, like, comedy gold, relationship comedy, and then him and Gazpacho are just sitting there in silence, and for 10 seconds.
Oh my god.
Like, this show, I'm willing to put an A because, like Billy and Mandy, there is some nasty, gross out humor in this.
Yeah.
That being said, when it isn't doing that, this show is still hilarious. It's still quotable. Was it hey, can you give a discount to a pretty lady? Yeah, have you seen one? Can you give a discount to an ugly lady? No, ugly ladies have to pay. Hey, ugly! Give me back my dollars!
Up next we have Transformers the Animated Series.
Never watched. You know what this is? This is probably one of those shows the Cartoon Network sent to die by putting it at 8 a.m. on Saturdays.
Yeah, I've never watched. I knew of its existence, I just never watched it.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I put it in the wrong place. Haven't seen. Let me edit Sunday Pants. I threw that and don't remember. I should throw that in haven't seen. Okay. So up next we have Benton Alien Force, which is the show I think is at least A tier.
You gotta speak for this one. I was getting older. I had to start. This was around late middle school, right? Like,
yeah.
So this was
like
around
mid to late middle school.
This is when I started getting into my anime phase. So.
And Benton Alien Force is perfect for that because it leans much more into like an anime sort of style. Best way I could describe it is, have you ever seen Spectacular Spider-Man?
No.
Oh, you need
I've
to
been
go-
told
you
I need
to.
to.
You need to. It's essentially that, but for Ben 10.
Hey, now you're making me want to watch Alien. So is Alien Force then the? I sense I've made a mistake of some kind.
Yeah.
I can tell that Kevin 11 is gonna be my favorite character
Oh, he's everyone's favorite character.
because he senses he made a mistake of some kind.
Up next, The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack.
F.
I agree with that. I 100% agree. I hated this show.
See, if people are like, "Oh, Chowder is gross," Chowder that. This makes Chowder look like it never had gross. This show's disgusting. The art style's disgusting. The characters are annoying. Yeah. Don't even get me started on the Heart episode.
Yeah. Also, that whole thing with Candy Wife was fucking creepy.
Yes, it is.
Up next, The Secret Saturdays. Which, I will be honest, watched a lot, don't remember anything about it.
I never watched it.
It
was good enough to get a Wii game, though.
Which is apparently just below mid, apparently. I will throw that and don't remember. Up next is a show I know will go in S tier, Adventure Time. Okay, you can throw whatever you want. I'm throwing it in S tier.
The reason why I'm only saying A, not just A for Adventure Time, is this show did drag for a bit. There is a lot of filler in this. This is like kids' first anime.
Yeah.
But, no, this is still great. Marceline is still my favorite character. The music in it is still really good. And, yeah. Distant Lands is really good, and Fiona and Cake is something else.
Up next is Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, which I'm also going to throw in A because it was more or less a continuation of Alien Force.
Okay, I trust you.
Up next, Generator Rex.
Oh, the show that crossed over with Ben 10 to try to save it, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
This is all you, bud. The floor is yours.
I'll throw it in B. I can't really explain why because it's been years since I've watched it, but I do remember it being... I remember it being a really good show. Up next, regular show.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is... You may have, as a kid, been like, oh, I don't get it, but once you hit your 20s, you just get it.
I mean, it's like this is a Cartoon Network show that was made with young adults in mind.
Yeah. That being said, the best Punchies moment is still the most accurate one where they're in line. And Rigby's like, the only thing that you're better at me is being a bigger piece of it's just the fist taking up his entire stomach.
How about that episode where they were playing what's it called? It wasn't Truth or Dare, it was I forgot what it was, but it ended with Mordecai taking a dump in front of the TV. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yes, or the one where Skips kills Rigby from arm wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rigby. I never intended it for it to be this way.
Like I said, this may be a Cartoon Network show, but it was absolutely made with young adults in mind.
The best Pops episode where he eats the apple fritters out of the trash.
Yeah.
He just it's time and space.
Up next, we have Symbiotic Titans.
Wish I watched, haven't seen.
It's a S tier show. The story is great. The animation is great. Done by the same people who worked on Samurai Jack. If you ever find it on anything, go watch it, please.
Okay.
The next one is, I don't recognize this. Save Robotomy? I don't know. I've never heard of this. Robotomy? I don't know.
No clue.
Haven't seen. The next one is going to immediately go on F. It's The Problem Solvers.
I know nothing, so I just...
Remember that weird, trippy show that looked like something that should have been on Adult Swim?
Nope, and I'm glad I don't.
Good. Just know it's an F tier show. Up next, The Amazing World of Gumball. I'm putting it in S.
S or A? You know what? Gumball doesn't have a lot of gross out humor. Gumball is really smart, even though his anxiety faces are a little bit of a mood.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, you could put it in S. Gumball. I would say Gumball is similar to Chowder if it didn't have gross out humor. Also, if it just played Final Fantasy VII for some reason.
So, the next show is another F tier show. Secret Mountain Fort Awesome.
I know nothing, so...
Yeah, just know it's an F tier. I'm not even gonna explain it. Up next, okay. Ben 10 Omniverse. Which, I will be honest, I haven't watched.
Either.
Yeah. Up next, I'm sure you might have something to say about. I don't really have anything to say about it. Uncle Grandpa.
It's a D or an F. It's
I'll be nice to it. I'll be nice to it and throw it in D.
It's Ren and Stimpy style humor, which for me, a cartoon. Again, this is why people are so mean to Chowder, and I don't get it. Chowder's jokes tie into the episode. They're just not random for the sake of being random. Like, their episode, they don't just break the fourth wall. Their episode where they spend all the money is the reason why we get that great bit. No money means no animation.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But yes.
Up next, I already know where you're putting this, but Steven Universe.
Probably A.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting, but fair enough.
Well, here's the thing. Steven Universe is great. The music is incredible. The characters are incredible. The story is relatable and real and powerful. I love it. The first season is a slog. Every episode with Ronaldo is terrible. The problem is that Steven Universe is one of the shows that Cartoon Network did not treat right. And being a Steven Universe fan means waiting and waiting for 5 episodes to drop at once. Now it's all done. And then the movie happened, and the movie is incredible. If the movie was its thing alone, I would put it in S. The movie is perfection. And then there's Future, which I do like, and Future dives into some very deep and dark topics in very serious ways, but because Cartoon Network mistreat... You know why people complain about the last season of Korra Rocks?
Why?
Because of studio mishandlement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, no budget, they were rushed. Steven Universe reeks of studio mishandlement. Steven Universe Future should have been twice as long as what it was. So watch Steven go from being okay to suddenly not okay to being a kaiju man to being okay again in like 10 episodes.
What?
It's insane. Watch Steven's life literally fall apart within like 4 episodes. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. It's rough. It's a hard watch. But yes, it's still really good. There's so much good in it. The movie's still, I love the movie so much that I made an art piece, and I'm not good at art, with a quote from the movie just to hang up on my wall. Like, I adore the show. I adore what it stands for. And, yeah, never listen to the fan base, because fan bases can be very bad, and this one is one of them. Steven Universe fans, y'all are great. Like, individual fans, individual people who are fans of the show, y'all are awesome. I've had great conversations. The fan base, when they insult people for their artwork, that's bad.
Yeah. Up next, we have Mixels, which I've never seen. I've heard of it. I remember they promoted it hard with a mobile game, with a premium mobile game, but I've never actually seen the show.
Me either.
Up next, Clarence, which once again I've never watched. Maybe you have, though.
I would put it in B. Some of the gross out humor holds it back, but this show is actually really funny. It's a very cute slice of life show. There's a really good episode about censorship involving a farting cactus. It's good. You have people in the street with signs, holding up signs that say, "Let the cactus fart."
Oh my god.
Yeah, Clarence is okay. Clarence isn't perfect, but it's not awful. I'd say B.
Okay. Up next, Over the Garden Wall.
Oh, you mean the fall thing, and only the fall thing? Like,
yeah, the fall series.
oh my, this is.
I know a lot of people would put this in S. I haven't seen enough of it to say myself, though.
I haven't seen enough of it either, but yeah.
We'll
have to
what?
fix that someday.
Just for its animation alone, I'm willing to put it in A.
Yeah.
Up next, We Bear Bears. Haven't seen enough of this show to know much about it outside of its premise, so I'll let you speak on it.
I would say, like Clarence, I would say either A or B. This is just a cute slice of life show. That's the easiest way to put it. I mean, and Ice Bear is the best one.
I've heard.
Ice Bear is great. I adore Ice Bear. And yeah, it's just cute. It's a cute little series, so I'd say B. B for bears.
B. Okay, let me move that. Okay. Up next, we have The Royals? I've never heard of this.
Me either.
It might be a newer show, but yeah. Up next, the Powerpuff Girls reboot, which I want to throw an F.
Yeah. The memes, the no me gusta, the twerking. Bad show. Bad.
Yeah. Up next is Mighty Magiswords, which I'm willing to throw in C.
I feel like the show died very quickly.
Yeah, like it's an okay show, but it was also a very nothing show.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of another show of its ilk that also died very quickly.
What?
Dave the Barbarian.
Yeah, it definitely has Dave the Barbarian vibes. But other than that, let's move on to the next show, which is the Ben 10 reboot, which I have not seen.
Me either.
So this next show is a show I'm going to throw an S now, but it is OKKO.
Yeah, yeah. This show has a lot of heart. This show has a lot of heart. It's got some really good ideas, some really fun storylines. The art style invokes childhood notebook doodles, but in a good way.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy. You showed me OKKO. I enjoy it. It's a very I don't want to say it's not going for deep storylines, but it's a good show in its own right.
Yeah. Up next is Apple and Onion. Never seen this show.
Me either.
Craig of the Creek. I've never seen.
I've heard good things, but I've never seen. Like, I heard this would probably be in B or A, but like never seen.
Yeah. You know what? Just for those who have seen it, I'll throw it in B because none of us here have seen it. Up next is Summer Camp Island. I've never heard of this.
Me either.
See, you guys can tell exactly where Homecoming and I stopped watching Cartoon Network just from the list of stuff we haven't seen.
It's okay. I fell off of Nickelodeon just as hard.
This next one is Victor and Valentino? I don't know. I've never heard of it.
I know nothing. I know nothing. Where's Total Drama?
That's not on here.
That's weird, because I associate Total Drama with Cartoon Network.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go isn't on here either. Up next is Mau Mau.
Nope.
Never seen it, but I've heard really good things about it, but it got canceled early because it was an HBO Max thing. So...
You know what? Let's address that really quickly. Where would you and I put Total Drama in this list if it was here?
Depending on the season. Island, I'd throw in A. Action, I'd throw in B. World Tour, I don't know.
Okay, for
World Tour onwards, I don't know. So,
for
just
me,
because of one particular messed up, really gross joke, I would throw Total Drama Rama and F.
So, I would throw Island in A, Action in B. I would throw World Tour in C, because I like some of the ideas. I never saw Revenge of the Island. That's where I fell off, but I heard that one was good. Redonkulous Race I never saw, but I heard that was okay.
That's fair.
So yeah, in Total Drama Rama, F.
Yeah. Up next, Infinity Train. I've never seen it myself, but I know a lot of people who would put this in S.
Oh, I've heard good things, but I've never seen it, and I heard it was gone way too soon.
Yeah. For those who haven't seen it, I'll throw it in S because neither of us here have seen it. But I'll throw it in S for you guys.
Yeah.
Up next, Steven Universe Future. I've never seen it, but I know Homecoming has, especially because he just went on a rant about it.
I would say A or B. That means they're talking about just base. Yeah, base Steven Universe goes in A. It was abruptly rushed at the end. Steven Universe Future, I'm gonna say it's either A or B, just because even though it's rushed, it's still good.
You want me to throw it in B?
Yeah, B. Yeah, B. If it actually got to play out, it would have went into A. But yeah, some of the episodes even with the limited runtime, some of the episodes are like not the best. There's a whole episode about Steven and Peridot that is just not well made.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Up next is... I can't even pronounce this one. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but I'm just going to assume neither of us have seen it. Up next is the Fungies? I don't know what that is. Okay, so that's another one we haven't seen. Up next, Tig and Seek.
Nope.
Okay. And the last one on this list, We Baby Bears.
Haven't seen.
Neither have I. I've heard it's really good, though.
Yeah.
And this is our tier list of Cartoon Network shows. As you guys can tell, Homecoming and I haven't really watched a lot of the more recent stuff. I stopped watching Cartoon Network roughly around the Steven Universe, Adventure Time, OKKO era. That's when I stopped.
Yeah, the regular. I think regular show was also in that era. I agree. That's around the time I fell off. I stopped watching cartoons for a while, and now the shows that we watch that are on Cartoon Network, like Fiona and Cake and Tiny Toons University, well, those get put on Max on like the same day.
Are those on Cartoon Network? I thought they were exclusively on Max.
I thought Luniversity was on Cartoon Network, because Cartoon Network was on Luniversity.
Oh.
So at least Luniversity was on both. Knowing how Fiona and Cake skews older, Fiona and Cake I think was just a Max thing. But yeah. But Luniversity, I remember Cartoon Network showed that at San Diego Comic-Con. They're like, it's on both.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. But with that in mind, that's our list. We hope you enjoyed. Let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree with it. Or don't. That's up to you. We can't tell you how to live your life.
Exactly.
But until next time, take care of yourselves.